Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us on KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Tom Sherry.
Good to have you with us. I'm Jane McCarthy. Washington state lawmakers are working to reshape the state's mental health system.
Yeah, the legislature wants to invest more than $300 million into mental health and behavior health services. And Eastern Washington will see a big part of that money.
KREM 2's Alexa Block follows the money and shows us what it will be used for.
Eastern Washington mental health providers have made big strides in recent years to increase the services they provide to people who need it most, and state lawmakers plan to put millions of dollars behind the effort. Washington state lawmakers agreed to set aside $33 million for Eastern State Hospital and Lakeland Village, a facility for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities in Medical Lake. Most of the money will go to repairs and upkeep in the facilities. A $12 million boiler plant construction project is planned at Eastern State Hospital. The old building would be torn down and a new one built. There's also funding to make the facility safer for patients, to keep them from hurting themselves. And millions in grants will go to providers statewide. Here in Eastern Washington, that includes Chaz Spokane Behavioral Health, a substance abuse facility in Colville, and a new jail diversion program in Spokane called a Mental Health Crisis Stabilization Facility. $2 million would go towards that project. The funding would add 16 beds here in Spokane for those dealing with mental health issues. In addition to the money set aside for certain facilities, providers across the state will be able to compete for millions in grants. Alexa Block, KREM 2 News.
Well, a judge in Asotin pleaded not guilty to rape in court today.
Superior Court Judge Scott D. Galena is charged with rape, assault, and other crimes. Mark Hanrahan joins us from the newsroom now with more on the case. Mark?
Yes, good afternoon, guys. It is not often we hear about a judge being arrested and charged with such serious crimes. Galena was arrested last month at the Asotin County Courthouse. State Attorney General Bob Ferguson charged the judge after 9 courthouse employees came forward with sexual misconduct claims. Some of these claims date back to 2014 when he was first appointed to the bench. Since his arrest, Galena has been out on bail and recently took administrative leave while his case proceeds. As we mentioned, the judge pleaded not guilty to all the charges earlier today. Washington State Patrol is involved in the investigation. Patrol troopers are encouraging anyone with information on this case to come forward. They acknowledge that victims of sexual abuse are often afraid to tell anyone, especially when the accused abuser holds a position of power. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley will have much more on this case coming up in our next half hour. For now, guys, we'll send it back to you.
Mark, thank you very much. In the meantime, President Trump's former attorney headed to prison today. Michael Cohen will begin serving his 3-year sentence at a facility in New York. Cohen was convicted of campaign finance violations, tax evasion, and lying to Congress.
Attorney General William Barr could be held in contempt of Congress. The House Judiciary Committee will hold a hearing on Wednesday to discuss what happens next. This is after Barr missed today's deadline to release an unredacted version of the Mueller report. Barr missed an earlier deadline last week and then skipped an appearance before the committee. Members
of the House Judiciary Committee are working to have Mueller testify next week. Nothing, though, has been finalized yet. It may be Monday, but many of us already looking ahead to the weekend for good reason as well, because we could see temperatures in the 80s Saturday and Sunday.
This is crazy. We might even see temperatures near 80 this week as well. It has really warmed up. Follow me over here if you will, and we show you the current temperature. Absolutely beautiful. 73 degrees right now in the Spokane area. You see the wind is out of the north at 12 miles per hour. You see plenty of blue sky. This is a live picture behind my weather graphic there, but my gosh, what a day it has been. Over the next 12 hours, we'll see temperatures remain in the 70s through the evening hours, then dropping down into the 60s. We could even see an overnight shower, an isolated shower occurring between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning. Then we'll look for mostly cloudy skies to start the day off tomorrow. Should see temperatures getting up to about becoming partly cloudy, and then we'll look for a high of 76 degrees on your Tuesday. And again, that's after the overnight low of 49. For the weekend, Jane, you are right on target. Temperatures expected in the low 80s. Sunshine, we are going to call that very warm for this time of year. If you're keeping score at home, the average high For this time of year, it's 64 degrees.
Woohoo!
Almost 20 degrees above average.
Wow, right on. Okay, as our temperatures warm up, fire crews around Washington State, they're always on high alert for wildfires.
Yeah, now a new piece of equipment will make it easier to fight fires in more urban areas. Whitney Ward joins us in the studio with more on the technology.
Yeah, concern is mounting over wildfires moving into more developed areas. It's that urban interface that we often hear about. So employees of the Washington Department of Natural Resources are now excited to have a new tool to help battle that type of wildfire. This is DNR's helicopter number 5. It's equipped with a belly tank which can hold up to 323 gallons of water, and it can be refilled over and over again through a 10-foot hose.
The modifications with the water tank in here is there's a master control panel up here. The water releases through the doors, the door switch. They control the drafting of water with the pump switch. And then for emergencies, they can hit a jettison switch on the back.
So currently the state's fleet of helicopters use long cables attached to buckets to drop water on fires. We've certainly seen that before. The long cables are needed in the forest to reach bodies of water, but DNR's chief pilot, Dave Ritchie, says the long cables are actually considered a hazard in urban areas because often roads have to be closed so the helicopters can travel between the fire and a lake or a river to refill.
Anything that's hanging from there is jettisonable, could break off or anything to that effect, where this is all hard mounted.
So the plan is to have 2 more helicopters equipped with a belly tank. Number 3 helicopter already is being modified, and as of now, those helicopters will be based in western Washington. However, Ritchie says fire crews can request to use that equipment in other parts of the state as well. Jane, Tom.
Wow, that's good news. Put those fires out. Well, as we start to see more sunshine around the inland Northwest, you might spot something else. We're talking about graffiti.
Yeah, while you can find graffiti year-round, more neighbors in Spokane are now reporting vandalism. KREM 2's Kira Elfallen found out what you can do if you spot it.
Yes, well, graffiti is typically present all year round, but we're starting to hear from more and more of you who are saying that you are seeing more of it. Now, according to a spokesperson with the city of Spokane, they aren't necessarily seeing an increase of graffiti, but city code states that, as always, it is an offense against the peace and order. City of Spokane crews are doing what they can to remove much of this graffiti, but it's hard to get to every tag. Also, when graffiti appears on businesses, it is up to owners to get rid of it. Although the city is not seeing a pattern, many walking in downtown Spokane say it doesn't seem that way.
I do really enjoy the art downtown. I would love to see more of the art, but I don't appreciate the curse words and all the profanity on the walls. So if there was a designated area where they could do their art and so everybody can enjoy it, I think that would be great.
I think it's really a sad situation. I think it's a waste of money that the city could be using to do a whole lot better things rather than having to clean up graffiti off the walls. But I also believe it's really necessary to do because otherwise it's just going to get worse and worse.
A viewer reached out to us with these photos from his neighborhood saying taggers even got to his car. Luckily, a repair shop up the road showed him some sympathy, deciding to remove the tag for him. City of Spokane staff suggests doing the following to prevent graffiti tagging on your property. This includes creating a plant or fence barrier to keep taggers away, keeping your property well lit, or installing motion sensor lighting, installing surveillance cameras, or forming community groups within your neighborhood to keep an eye out. You can also report any graffiti by calling 311. The City of Spokane also has a form on its website that you can fill out. We have a link to that on our website at krem.com. I'll send it back to you.